Hey guys, welcome back. It's time for a juicy example of justice being served. For all you G-baller J-boys out there that think you aren't going to get the D, selling fake cards, selling fake slabs, altered cards, etc., here's a great example of how you can and how you will get jammed in the buns. I know this isn't Pokemon, but it's very relevant for anything trading cards related. Nice little juicer example here. Hear me, Arjun Dillon? Hear me? Dustin Souza. For anyone, I guess, that isn't familiar with Dustin's similar situation / scam, I'll be covering it in the premiere tomorrow, once again, and then adding a little bit. We got some updates on that bad boy. Look forward to that one. It's going to be good. So, fraud. Turns out it doesn't matter if it's collectible cards, only cardboard, as the very scummy people will like to call it, or like to dismiss it as nothing, not a big deal. Turns out when the dollar value is there, it doesn't matter what the item is. It could be your buns, a picture of your buns that's autographed. If you're famous enough, if someone pays enough money for it, it's still fraud. No, someone else cannot sign your buns for you. So regarding this, there is lots of information missing from the countless news articles that popped up, but it's okay. I'll fill you guys in on some of that as we go, since they won't bother to do the research. First, let's go through the CBS News article. Then we'll take a closer look at one of these slabbed counterfeit cards. We'll also take a look at the United States Attorney's Office's complaint, which has a lot more details about what happened to the actual victims. So let's get started here. Colorado man accused of a sports trading card fraud scheme, according to CBS Colorado. An 82-year-old man is facing federal charges for allegedly defrauding customers of hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent sports trading cards. Mayo Gilbert McNeil was arrested in Denver Wednesday. Federal prosecutors say that between April 2015 and July 2019, McNeil and others conspired to trade and sell cards with people on the internet. One of the cards sold was a 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. Similar cards have sold previously for more than $100,000. So we're getting up into the sketch zone here. Seeing those are like Arjun Dillon numbers for all us Pokemon people. Again, I'm not like the super sports expert here, but it's all kind of very relative, and we definitely need to take a look at it. And when it comes to the grading companies, it's pretty much the same situation. It's still fraud, still items worth a lot of money, worth thousands of dollars. In this case, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Court documents say McNeil allegedly defrauded customers of more than $800,000 in cash and cards traded for counterfeits. McNeil is set to make his initial appearance in Denver federal court on Wednesday afternoon and will also be arraigned in the Eastern District of New York at a later date. That's pretty sweet. All right, we got, what is that? Man, the ads are real on these websites. I don't mind like the banner ads and stuff like that. At least we don't have anything popping up. Maybe I shouldn't talk too soon. So here it is. Here's an example. I'll get out of the way here a little bit. Anyone care to guess what the issue is here with the PSA slab on screen? That is correct. The edges are looking mighty frosty. It's a bad sign. The image kind of sucks, but that's what we're working with here. It's a real case, which was tampered with. It's a real boy. Unlike the Zhao examples that we saw recently on the channel here, where he used fake cases and real labels, cracked it out, swapped the cards out with lesser condition ones. This is clearly, there was an attempt, a successful attempt, I guess, to open the slab, remove the real card, insert a counterfeit in its place. I would assume that he was resubmitting the real cards, probably through someone else. Rinse and repeat, same kind of scenario. Just in this case, he's just cracking and opening. Like surely at some point you would think someone would catch on to the fact that these look like tamper boys. So this I think is where it would be nice for not only for the grading companies to take pictures of every single card that they grade and keep it in an online database that you can reference to make sure that you're looking at it. If you're going to purchase a card that's $100,000, you can at least go online. You can check to make sure it's the same card within the slab, that it's not a fake, that it wasn't swapped out, etc. But I think they should also have a database of some kind one that they can automatically scan. Surely they have the funding to do this. They can automatically scan to see if a card matches a previous submission. So whether somebody's resubmitting something, I guess it doesn't really matter if someone's resubmitting something. But in a case like this, if someone's cracking out 10s and sending the same Michael Jordan PSA 10 in over and over again, they should automatically get a little warning that comes up on the screen. Like maybe only for the really valuable stuff. Maybe you don't need to do it for every single card. I mean, the stuff becomes more valuable over time. So then it's got to be a pretty low threshold. But in the case of something like this, I think that's an automatic catch. That should be no effort, no work involved whatsoever. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Again, this translates into everything that the grading companies grade. If they can get the case apart, if they can swap out the card, there's always a threat of that being there. Again, we saw it with Zhao, where he was just using the knockoff mold of a PSA case, in which case you could look at the corners wouldn't be sharp like these ones. And then also there were some slight differences because it was a mold of the actual case. It wasn't the actual case that was made. So again, you got to be careful. You can't just buy graded cards. I know people don't like to hear that. They're like, if I buy it graded, is it going to be real? I get people that ask me that all the time. And I say, no, you still need to know what you're looking at. You need to be able to look at it and say, like, hey, was this misgraded? Hey, is this a fake card in a real slab? Hey, do I know how to look up the cert number and make sure that it's the same card that was being sold? Again, there's probably less that you need to worry about on the lower end of things. But when you get into any 10s, as we saw even with Zhao, like it was like $1,000 cards, whatever, that you still need to, you need to know what you're looking at here, guys. You cannot blindly accept the fact that it's going to be a real card, because in the case like this, the PSA is not going to cover you, because this isn't the card that they graded. You don't get a payout. There's no like safety net here, other than the fact that like law enforcement might get involved eventually, like we saw in this example. So you got to be careful. Take a step back. Be careful. Do not buy stuff that is extremely expensive relative to whatever income you have or whatever amount of money you have on hand to spend on this stuff. You got to know it regardless. It's the same with anything, any large purchase like this. You got to know what you're getting into, because when you're dealing with individuals here rather than actual like large businesses, and even sometimes large businesses that are doing a little sketchy stuff, you need to know what you're looking at. I can't tell people that enough. Do not blindly trust the fact that something's in a graded case. If you want to collect graded cards, by all means go ahead. I think they're stupid, but that's on you. If you would like to, if you find it easier to sell, if you can get more money for it, if you're obsessed with the fact that it has a 10 on the case, by all means, you do you, but know that you need to look at this stuff regardless. Fake cards have been graded. Apparently they've been resealed as well, but also altered cards, etc. It's going to slip by. So you need to know what you're looking at, regardless of how graded something is. Even if they come out with more stupid options where PWCC and Mike Baker put stickers all over it like it's one of the Pokeballs from Diamond and Pearl, it doesn't matter. You got to know what you're looking at. They're full of crap. They're all just trying to make money. So you need to be the expert, unfortunately. I can't tell you every time that something's real or fake or whatever. You got to watch the videos. You got to learn it. Whatever hobby you're in, whether you're in sports, whether you're in Pokemon, etc., you need to learn it if you're going to spend a lot of money on it. End of story. Or you're going to get screwed. All right, so here we have the United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District of New York, Colorado man charged with sports cards fraud scheme. Nice. Wednesday, March 8th. So this is extra fresh, guys. This is yesterday news coming up today. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything together all in one nice little package for you guys with the extra details. I know they don't like to provide specifics in any of this, but yeah, let's get through this. A complaint was unsealed this morning in federal court in Brooklyn, charging Mayo Gilbert McNeil with conspiracy to commit wire fraud in connection with a scheme involving counterfeit sports trading cards. McNeil was arrested this morning in Denver and is scheduled to make his initial appearance this afternoon in the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado. McNeil will be arraigned in the Eastern District of New York at a later date. Breon Peace, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, and Michael J. Driscoll, Assistant Director in Charge, FBI. Yes, guys, it doesn't matter if it's trading cards. The FBI can get involved. It's money related, guys. It's fraud. It's fraud. People don't want to hear it. People, especially the people that are like stealing from work and stuff like that. They think there's no like legal repercussions, or that there shouldn't be, because it's cardboard, but it's expensive cardboard. New York field office announced the arrest and charge. Protection from fraud extends to all consumers, regardless of what team they root for. LOL. Stated United States Attorney Peace. As alleged, the defendant orchestrated a years-long and far-reaching scheme to defraud sports trading cards enthusiasts and the sports memorabilia industry. Our office is committed to addressing counterfeiting at all levels of the market. Mr. Peace expressed his appreciation to the New York City Police Department, which conducted the investigation with the FBI. As alleged, Mr. McNeil defrauded sports memorabilia collectors of more than $800,000 by intentionally misrepresenting the authenticity of the trading cards he was peddling when, in fact, they were counterfeit. The FBI remains committed to investigating fraud at all levels and bringing the subjects who engage in it to justice, stated FBI Assistant Director in Charge, Driscoll. As set forth in court filings between April 2015 and July 2019, the defendant conspired with others to sell and trade sports trading cards, including 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie cards, with victims he found via the internet and through online selling platforms. The defendant misrepresented that the sports trading cards he was offering were graded by a professional authentication company, PSA, when in reality the trading cards were not authentic. The defendant defrauded his victims of over $800,000 in cash and authentic sports trading cards that were traded for the counterfeits. The case is being handled by the office's Business and Securities Fraud Section. Department of Justice trial attorney Patrick J. Campbell and Assistant United States Attorney Alexander Mindlin are in charge of the prosecution. We got the defendant here, Mayo Gilbert McNeil, age 82, Denver, Colorado. I think, I can't remember what the fines are exactly, but I think this is like up to 20 years in prison. So as an 82-year-old that's involved in this, you're potentially going to jail for the rest of your life for frauding people on sports cards. Congratulations. I don't know if that's worse or better than being younger and getting locked up for 20 years, but certainly not worth it. And I don't know how you ever think or thought that you were going to get away with it. Maybe this is the example that needs to take place in order for people to realize, like, hey, if I do something like this, I'm going to get absolutely run over by law enforcement, the FBI. I don't get it. But that's it. That's all. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Love you. Be careful out there. Look out for each other. Join the Discord. And I'll see you tomorrow for the premiere. See you there, Dustin. LOL.